Okay, so if you've been trying to understand what the PMI numbers look like, we saw that from the central bank yesterday looking forward and looking positive, and from the FBN Quest. Now we've got to put that together. How does it work with the markets as an investment guide, if you want to put it that way? Obianuju Unsafor is an investment analyst, one of the team of researchers at AfroInvest, an investment and securities trading firm regulated by the SEC. Good morning, Obianuju.
Good morning,
Thank you. I hope that introduction wasn't so long as to, but we understand. Give us a brief discussion about the PMIs. When PMIs come out on a monthly basis, how do you and the rest of your team treat it? How do you handle it?
Well, the PMI is a leading indicator. It gives you an idea of what's going on in the manufacturing sector. So in the month of April, we saw an improvement to 51.1, which is above the 50 points threshold. In March, it was 47.7 points. So you look at what drove this index. We look at production level, it was up. New orders was up, as well as inventories was up. Now you try and link it towards what could have driven these indices. So you look at the activities in the foreign exchange market. You see that since February, there's been some convergence in the parallel market rate. It's about 3.8 something to a dollar. You look at the multiple windows that the CBN has opened. So there's a bit of improvement in that space. Then also you look at business confidence. I mean, it has improved over time. We've seen a lot of improvement, sentiment for business. So you look at the non-manufacturing PMI index. Although it was short of 50 points, there was still some improvement. But what is paramount to note that in the two indices, that's the manufacturing PMI and the non-manufacturing, employment level was low. It's still below 50 points. I mean, if you're going to grow as an economy, employment should grow as well.
I want to know what to do with a PMI if I'm an investor, for example. The stock market, for example, has various segments. You have the financial services, which includes the banks, the insurance, we have the mutual funds, then you have the consumer goods, the industrial goods, the oil and gas, EMP and the rest of them. So if I'm looking at the PMIs and say, look, it looks like this is forward-looking indicator, like perhaps things are looking upbeat. What should I look at now if I'm looking at the equities counters?
Well, I think it's too early to tell. If we're going to see any impact in the equities market, in the companies listed, it's going to be Q2 2017 and forward. You look at the results that were released last week. I mean, you look at the likes of Danksem, you look at the likes of WAPCO. Their results were very, very impressive. But you look at these were driven by increase in prices. They hiked prices as of last year. They've also switched to alternative sources of energy. We saw Danksem looking at the likes of coal, and we saw WAPCO looking at alternative sources of energy. So this is what has boosted their profits in Q1 2017. But going forward, with this new indication from the PMI index, we should see more improvements in this company.
Yeah,
from Q2 2017 going forward.
In other words, what we saw in Q1 yes. Reflects, if I ever get this right, reflects what the companies did within the 90-day period.
Yes.
So if we're looking the April, therefore, which is the beginning of Q2.
Yes.
Right. So we're done with Q1. It looks pretty good, well, to a large extent for most of the earnings on the street. So if we're looking at the second quarter, you think, as an analyst, as a researcher, think that, look, we're good, but we need to be better. Yeah,
we are better than where we were yesterday.
That was January, February, March.
We can still do more.
We can do more.
Yeah.
What level of PMI index reading will make you comfortable as a research analyst?
Well, the last time we recorded such level was in December, but things weren't too good. So anything greater than that, anything greater than that should be good.
You're looking at 60?
60 is quite good, but we can do better. 70, we can still do better.
Yes, 60 will look good, 70 will look good. Yeah. But again, you say, look, before this will trickle down into equities market, you're looking at second quarter earnings.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what the economy is doing right now with the release of the ARGP. They forecast a 2.2% growth in 2017. I mean, they are focusing on the agricultural sector as well as the power sector. I mean, there are still a lot of things to be done in this sector. You look at the power sector, this is, and you look at the liquidity crisis in that sector, this is a sector that, if it's fixed, affects all other sectors. I mean, the effect is direct. You see improvements in all other sectors. I mean, you look at the country that is currently trying to seek support from the World Bank in order to solve the crisis in the power sector. I mean, everything is all about implementation. So if we can implement everything in the economic recovery and growth plan, I mean, we should see major improvements across all sectors and economy as a whole.
So we say thank you to the FX market, at least giving us a bit of a measure of all the windows. Looks like we've seen some blip, as it were, on the radar. Looks like we're looking green. But if you look at other asset classes like fixed income, for example, do you think the PMI is anything to really chew over, or I should rather wait for the next MPC?
Well, I'll say we should wait for the next MPC. What's happening in the fixed income market now is investors are seeing it as a safe haven. I mean, yields are high, so as of now, it makes more economic sense to put your money in the fixed income market as regards to any other asset classes. So that's what is happening right now.
All right, I'll think of where to put my money, but definitely it's going to be in an asset class. Not in anywhere on the ground. It's got to be over ground. That's where money is best kept, as an investment. Thank you very much for coming through, Obianuju Mustafa from AfroInvest. Thank you very much. Let's get the conversation going. You know where to find us on social media, on Twitter to be precise, at Channel CV, all lower caps, and at B's Morning, the B there in cap, and the morning, the M there in uppercase as well. Now, that's where it is. And you, of course, you know, my Twitter handle at @bbozen, and I mind your business 24/7, 365 days a year. Let's keep the conversation going. We have a bit to talk about the oil and gas industry. Junior Oil Minister Ebeka Chukwu has been talking about the state of Nigeria oil and gas in Houston, Texas. We need to analyze a bit of what he's been saying over the last 2 days.